I can't function anymore. I don't understand how I make $34 an hour and I can't function. I can't function. I can't pay my bills. I can't even literally keep gas in my car to get to work 3 days a week. I buy a loaf of rye bread, and I work really hard to keep that one loaf of rye bread lasting me the whole week, and I eat peanut butter. So I'll eat peanut butter toast whenever I'm hungry. And it's been fine. It's been working just fine. I'm good with that. That's fine. But last week, I guess I was a little extra hungry a couple days, so I had toast in the morning and toast in the evening, which that's not in my budget. So I ran out of bread on like the Thursday or even the Friday, I don't know. Either way, at 47, I had to see if my mother could buy me a loaf of bread so that I could eat for the weekend before my daughter got home.
Yeah, Justin Trudeau recently had an interview. A lot of questions came up to him. I believe you've seen this lady. She's in tears. I don't want to really go deep into her situation, but we should look at this general because it's actually a global issue a lot of people are experiencing due to bad governance. I have a couple of videos I'm going to play so you will see exactly what I'm talking about. On this tweet, Trudeau on poor polling and whether he considers stepping down and why he is staying on. I could not be the person I am and walk away from this far right now. A lot of questions came up to him during this interview about people don't like him. You know, he doesn't even seem to understand what the people are going through.
You've been Prime Minister for 8 years, I think that's right. And by the end of 2024, you could be the 7th longest serving Prime Minister in history. Your party is struggling. I would say you're struggling a little bit too. Is there anything that would convince you to step aside and let someone else lead the Liberal Party and this government?
Listen, with the challenges that people are facing right now, with the way the world is going now, and everything that we are doing that is making positive differences in a very difficult time that isn't done yet, I wouldn't be the person I am and be willing to walk away from this right now. There is so much important work to continue to do at a time where it is really difficult. It is really challenging, and the global winds that are buffeting not just our democracies but our economies, our social cohesion, mean that the things that we got elected to do, whether it's fighting climate change, reconciliation with Indigenous people, strengthening inclusion and opportunity, and doing it all with a focus on the middle class and people working hard to join it. I think to myself, where would we be right now if we hadn't brought in childcare, if we hadn't shown leadership on climate change and drawing in global investments? We have more to do, and right now all that is going to be at stake in the next election with a very clear choice of either going backwards and doing less or nothing on climate change, on reconciliation, on inclusion, on growing a strong economy in meaningful ways, or do we keep rolling up our sleeves and delivering for Canadians?
A question surfaces like, why can't you step down? When you look at the polls, it tells you the people don't want you. Justin Trudeau's response tells you exactly who he is.
Okay, so I live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and for those of you who don't know, Canada has like a serious inflation problem right now. I just got back from doing groceries, and I have $70 worth of groceries on my table right now, and I genuinely don't even know what I purchased that made it to $70. I had a mini breakdown to my parents the other week, and I started like crying, like tears. They came in because I was doing a budget, and they were like, "How is it?" And I was like, tears. I'm working like 3 jobs right now. Like, I got out of university like last year in December, and I have been grinding it out ever since, just because the cost of living, and I'm not even really saving that. I'm not saving anything really, but the cost of living is outrageous in Canada. And it's just so, I was telling my parents, like, it's just so frustrating that like you do all the right things, you go to university, and then you come out, you get a job, whatever, and you can barely afford rent. I talk about it with my friends all the time, but we're just fucking sticking together right now.
You realize that people are fed up with you. But just to give way to another person that can try his best, you will continue to be there so that the people can continue to suffer. It is insane to me. I did a couple of videos, I think 2 weeks ago, pertaining to the situation in the United States where women, a lot of people are putting out videos how they're suffering because of this, because of that. And when I went through the comment sections, I realized it was actually a general problem. People from these places are experiencing same situation. It is bad. But I have a message to every person that is living in these places. You should be able to take up a good decisions when going to the choose a good leader. Once beaten, twice shy. If this time around you don't vote who can do the job, then you must be crazy. Don't put out videos like this on social media. I have been saying this and I'll repeat myself. Choose wisely. People nowadays, they are so blind. They don't see the truth. You will realize for the past 10, 15 years, you've been suffering under one person. You will continue to vote that person. Then at the same time, continue to cry. It is crazy. I don't always like to react on videos like this for a reason just like I'm trying to outline here. Someone will say, I don't want to talk about politics. I hate politics in general. You don't like politics, then you are suffering. You go to the polls and still choose that wrong person to continue to cry. It is right for you to choose a good person that will be able to do the job for you. Give other people chances. It is over for Trudeau. When I look at the number of videos on TikTok, it is alarming. People are not happy. I don't always like to really monitor some certain situations, but when I see it, it is important. I'll share my thought.
Who wants to cut back regulations instead of regulate businesses more. We want to rally behind the guy that wants to close our border up. We want to rally behind that guy, the guy who wants to put America first, not a bunch of lip service and crazy. I'm tired. That's why. I'm tired of the way this country looks under Democrat leadership. And you know what? It seems like that's growing because more and more people a day will come to my DMs and they'll talk to me and they'll say, I may not like him as a person, but I'm going to vote for him because they're tired too. So no, I don't care about felony counts because if he was really guilty of something, I can tell you right now, he'd be in jail, and he's not, and he's never going to be in jail. So the more you get excited about the idea of him being in jail, just know that it's never going to happen. It's a political witch hunt by Joe Biden and the Democrat Party, and everyone's around to see it. So I hope I answered your question because I am sick and tired of what this country looks like under